Herald now, time to talk business with our partners 2 Degrees. There are plans afoot to merge 3 government departments that look after transport, housing and the environment. BusinessDesk's Garth Bray with me this morning to break it down. Hey Garth.
Hey Ryan.
So this is a BusinessDesk story out this morning and it's talking about departments that, do they have much in common? Why would we be looking at merging them?
Houses. That's the main thing. All of these agencies have something to do with the planning process around housing, and as we know, we've still kind of got a housing crisis. People trying to get into affordable houses, how do you build things more quickly and so on. So what the team's picking up, and in particular our senior correspondent, Dilipa Fonseca, that this is looked at as one way to try and align all of that. You've got the transport parts of housing, you've got the environmental and planning sort of stuff, and then you've got the Ministry for Housing and Urban Development, those 3 possibly getting folded into one. There's, I guess, been some concern maybe about the Ministry of Transport for quite a while. They had a pretty scathing performance review last year that took a long time to get out. A lot of concerns that their staff were less experienced. On average about 65% of the place had less than 4 years experience in the public service. Average in the public service is about 8 years, I think, from the study that we saw. And they haven't had a CEO, they've had an acting CEO for quite some time.
True.
And also when we checked in April, they hadn't even started looking for a CEO. What does that tell you?
That they're going to smash them together with a bunch of others.
Except,
all right.
I mean, there's a bit of a worry that, if you put environment in there with those others, have you put the environment to one side while you pursue the growth agenda? So there's a wee bit of concern there.
Well, I mean, you can't have it all, can you? If you want more houses, you've got to crack a few eggs to make an omelette.
Yeah, well.
If that means killing a few native birds or whatever, then...
Health NZ, that went well, didn't it? Restructuring, didn't it? Restructures sometimes.
That is true.
They don't always quite give you what they plan to.
Vector being called out for offering unfair contract terms. Who's unhappy with these?
Well, the Commerce Commission, first and foremost, they put a letter out. They wrote the letter to Vector last month and they've put it out publicly since, saying your contract terms are just unfair. They are, in the words of one developer that we spoke to, a desperation contract. There's too much in there that requires money up front to connect up sites to power, and there's no kind of guarantees about when the work gets done. There's all sorts of indemnities in there. The Commerce Commission basically said, this is not okay. You need to go back and look at your contracts again. And Vector has said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. But the developer who brought this complaint saying, well, a bit of a bummer for him, they've just gone back and said, oh, we're going to rescope your contract. He might wind up having to pay another $100,000 for the trouble of complaining.
Right. So Vector says it's changed the terms of the contract. Does this mean no more penalties?
Well, they've avoided going to court. So this is a complicated system for putting this through, right? The Commerce Commission, basically, it's got to go to court twice to make this work. It's got to go to court to say, is this unfair? And then the court decides if it's unfair. And then if it's unfair, it goes back to court and says, okay, now we're going to do you. Every other kind of Fair Trading Act complaint, you can just do it once. And the Commerce Commission's actually kind of unusually said to us, we'd support a law change that would tidy this up.
Okay, interesting. Garth, appreciate your time this morning. Garth Bray from BusinessDesk. Thanks to our partners 2 Degrees. He's here every morning with a business update, 19 away from 8 now.